if you put 10 transistors in parallel, if you put 10 transistors in parallel, then your effective width is 10 times. So it
Yes,
means
sir.
you are using
Effectively,
10 times bigger transistor.
the kind of. So
Yeah.
Is it a valid approach?
Yeah, we will. So as I said, we will talk about fingering, breaking a big device into smaller fingers. We discussed about that in the office hours also on Wednesday. So that is also recorded and put online. But we will discuss it again in the class sometime later. Okay. So if you are in a hurry, you can look at the office hours. It
Okay.
was discussed there. Okay.
Thank you,
So
sir.
Guruveer, I'm not sure. This looks to be a strange issue that you are coming up with. Check with one of your friends. They are able to complete everything and do everything. So check with one of your friends. I'm not sure why this is coming. You may want to, restart your VPN or restart your Virtuoso, and then the issue may be solved. At times, these CAD tools have these idiosyncratic behavior which corrects itself by restarting. So they are like Microsoft Windows in some way. Okay, so you restart Control Alt Del, and then things may work fine. So just try that.
Sure, I tried everything since 2 days. I also discussed this with some of our friends, sir. Some of us also faced the same issue.
So how did they solve it?
They just left it for some time. It gets automatically corrected.
Yeah, so it would happen with you also then.
Sir,
That is
but
the way
since
EDA tools work. This is the way EDA
sir,
tools work.
sir, but since Wednesday I am trying, but not able to draw. I also made a new layout. New library and new cell view. All I tries, but not yet solved, sir.
Yeah. So this is really. When you made the new library, did you attach it with the text file? If you do not attach it to the text file, then it will not do anything for you.
No, sir, I attached the text file like CMOS 065,
Yeah,
right, sir?
yeah. So you attach
Yeah,
it with
I
the text
attached.
file. Okay. So I don't know. I've never faced this issue myself. This is the first time you're telling me I'm not able to draw anything on the layout. I hope you have the license, that you're able to check out the license. Is
I had done with delays part, sir, but I am facing issue with the rise and fall time circuit. Not able to draw any of the layers in layout.
So what you do is in the same layout in which you drew your first transistor, in the same layout make the second inverter also. That's okay. You can extract two inverters in a you can extract two inverters from a layout. And again, as I mentioned in the meeting when we had on Wednesday evening, please do not mail your issues individually to either the TAs or to me. If you have a problem, please use the classroom. In classroom, there are 100 people who may have faced the same problem and they would be happy to help you. So Divisha is suggesting something to you already in the chat window. So the solutions exist within your classroom. You cannot be dependent solely on me or on the three TAs. That will be a very inefficient way to operate. We want you to collaborate amongst yourselves.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sir, you told about one that EPS, na? Sir,
Mm-hmm.
I read about that in the manual as well on the page number
Mm-hmm.
1070. But sir, EPS चेंज करने से विड्थ में तो कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता, या ग्राफ क्लियर हो जाता है, पर विड्थ में कुछ इफेक्ट नहीं मिला, मतलब
कौन से विड्थ
EPS
में?
मतलब सर मेरे को ऐसा लग रहा था कि ईपीएस चेंज करने से विड्थ में कुछ इफेक्ट पड़ता है। सर बेसिकली ईपीएस अपन चेंज करते हैं तो केवल यही है ना कि ग्राफ अपन का क्लियर होता है, ईपीएस का सर यही
आपका
होता है?
सिमुलेशन एक्यूरेट हो जाएगा ज्यादा.
अच्छा, ठीक
Your
है सर।
simulation will become more accurate.
ओके
Okay. If the simulator would change the sizing of your devices, then everyone would design simulators, not your circuits.
ओके सर, श्योर, थैंक
है
यू।
ना? A simulator is only expected to model the behavior of your circuit. It won't do anything else. But by changing the EPS, you can model it more accurately. So great. So do you remember what we were doing in the last class?
Discussion on inverter.
Oh, so the class before that one then.
Last topic was
completing
copper.
Dual Damascene process.
Dual
Dual
Damascene, sir.
Damascene. Yes, sir.
Yes. So we were looking at the dual Damascene process, and we had seen that in today's settings, dual Damascene process is used for making wires and their vias. So now all of you know about contacts and vias. Am I right? Have you used vias in your designs yet or not yet?
Yes, sir, we have.
Yes, sir, we have.
So use metal 2. Why? You do not really need to use metal 2. Metal 2 usage was not really required. You should have designed an inverter at least in metal 1.
Sir, we have used vias in metal 1 only, so metal 1 poly, via and so on.
But metal 1 poly is a contact, no? Metal 1 poly is not a via.
Sir, actually, so I don't know whether it's the tool thing or something, but when we are trying to insert it, it goes via create via only. So maybe it's a contact, but maybe it just shows it like that.
Oh, so you have not even checked the layers that are being used there.
No. I have checked the. So actually, when I draw the contact, so the way I do it is I go to create, then I go to via. So I think that it's actually creating it. Or I don't know because I get that I guess yellow cross or something over it. So I think it is creating a via, but I don't
No.
know.
So the yellow colored thing that you see is a contact.
Okay.
Okay, so see, that is the problem when you use these pre-existing, what do you say, constructs in the tools in the library. So what we used to do was we would always, actually make these rectangles, and that is how we would make the transistors. It took longer, but then what happens is I'm in full control of my circuit.
So sir, I can like directly make my transistor as I want. I don't need to use its library. Is that allowed?
Yes, that is the preferred way actually.
That's nice. I tried it. I thought that tool doesn't recognizes it. Okay.
No. This is the
Okay.
preferred way. Okay. So over here we have shown contacts, and then suppose you needed to go to metal 2 also. So on this metal 1, you would place a via, and then you will go to metal 2. Okay. If you then need to go to metal 3, you would place another via 2. So the first is called a contact. This is between poly metal 1 and एक्टिव के लिए अभी वहां पे ओडी लेयर ओडी नाम आ रहा है या एसी नाम आ रहा है?
OD.
आप ओडी आ रहा है, तो ओडी एंड मेटल 1. okay, and so this is for contact, and this one is a via 1. So via 1 is between metal 1 and metal 2. via 2 will be between metal 2 and metal 3, and so on. Okay, so each of these vias or each of these contacts, when you look at it in a 3D kind of a shape, so if I just make the cross section view of this device, I suppose cut it from here. So how will it look? It will look like a source, drain, there is a contact, there is a contact, there is a poly here. The poly would not show this contact because this is far behind. I will just show it in a distance as if it is dotted. So it is back there. Okay. So cross section view would not show this. It will show it in a very hazy manner. And you have these contacts, and then you would have. I have to erase this. क्या करें? So after this contact, you would have the symbols or you will be able to see metal 1. So this metal 1 will be like this. It will be running in this direction, the other metal 1. And on this metal 1, you also had a VR2, VR1. So over here, you will see a VR1 and then metal 2. Okay. So notice, what have I done? Over here, I have shown that you make a contact and then you make a metal 1. Then you make a VR1 and then you make metal 2. This is CO, metal 1, VR1, metal 2. This is how the process actually used to be when we were using aluminum wires. Okay. But in today's technologies, so contact is tungsten. When we use aluminum for the wires, the VRs were also tungsten. Okay. Why tungsten? Because tungsten we could melt and we could. So how is a VR formed? You as we've already discussed in the fabrication process thing, that you make a oxide, you deposit oxide on the entire surface. Then wherever you want to deposit VRs, you make VRs. You would make trenches, you would make holes, and then you will fill tungsten all over the place, and you will etch out from the remaining part. So you will etch out from all the parts after this height, and you will have contacts formed. Similarly, आप metal 2 पे जाओगे. So are you with me? Are you able to capture what I am saying? Since we have already discussed the manufacturing process, fabrication process, this thing should be clear now. Are you with me now? या confusion हो रहा है?
सर जस्ट वन थिंग,
Yes, sir.
सर ये जो आपने कॉन्टैक्ट बनाया है इसमें भी आपने ये ट्रेंचेस क्यों बनाए हैं? उस ट्रेंचेस होते हैं क्या सर?
ट्रेंच का मतलब क्या है? ट्रेंच का मतलब क्या है आपके हिसाब
मतलब
से?
एक डिच टाइप, मतलब गड्ढे टाइप का, राइट सर?
हाँ, सो आप अगर फैब्रिकेशन प्रोसेस देखेंगे, मैं वापस ऊपर से जाता हूँ. फैब्रिकेशन प्रोसेस में क्या होगा? सबसे पहले आप हर तरफ पॉली, सपोज आप हर तरफ पॉली भर दोगे, फिर आप कहोगे अच्छा आप मेरे मास्क से इसको एक्सपोज करो, whatever do whatever, and then etch out from where you did not need the poly. So that is how you will make the polygate. Okay, so आपका polygate बन जाएगा. ठीक है, देन आप फिर से इसको भर दोगे. इसके बाद आप अपना सोर्स और ड्रेन डोप करोगे. सोर्स और ड्रेन डोप करा, मान लो आपका ये बन गया रीजन. अब आप इसके ऊपर फिर से ऑक्साइड भर दोगे. अब इस ऑक्साइड के अंदर आप एक मास्क बनाओगे और इधर गड्ढा करोगे, ताकि यहाँ पे जो आप अपना कॉन्टैक्ट बनाना चाह रहे थे वो कॉन्टैक्ट के लिए गड्ढे आ जाएं. देन आप इसमें टंगस्टन फिल करोगे. तो वो टंगस्टन एक्चुअली पूरे के पूरे एरिया को वो कर देगा. एक बार आपने टंगस्टन फिल कर दिया तो आपका जो ये होल्स आपने बनाए थे, दे आर फिल्ड विद टंगस्टन, एंड यू विल देन रिमूव द टंगस्टन. यू विल एच आउट द, आप टंगस्टन को केमिकल प्रोसेस से बाकी एरिया से हटा दोगे. ठीक है, तो क्या होगा? आपका जो डिवाइस है उसके अंदर ये टंगस्टन के स्टब्स जो हैं बने होंगे, और दैट इज हाउ द डिवाइस वुड. सो टॉप लेयर से आप देखोगे तो आपको खाली टंगस्टन के ये 2 स्टब्स शाइन करते हुए दिखेंगे. नीचे का पॉली वॉली नजर ही नहीं आएगा. क्यों नहीं नजर आएगा? बिकॉज बीच में ऑक्साइड आ गया है. सी, मैं अगर यहां तक ऑक्साइड भर दूंगा और मेरे को फिर कॉन्टैक्ट बनाना है तो मेरे को होल करना पड़ेगा ना, तभी तो कॉन्टैक्ट अंदर जाएगा. Are you able to see this?
Sir,
Yes.
sir, in a single transistor, can we have more than one contact?
Yes. You can have any number of contacts. It depends on the width. You should not violate the DRC. That's it.
So active region would be source and drain single, but we can have multiple contacts.
Yes, yes. So अगर आपने 6 माइक्रोन का अगर आपने PMOS बनाया है, जो अभी बच्चे बता रहे थे मुझे आप लोग, तो उसके अंदर जब आपने लेआउट बनाया होगा तो आपको मल्टीपल कॉन्टैक्ट्स आए ही होंगे. नहीं आए थे?
यस सर, आए थे.
Yes, sir, आए थे.
फिर
Yes, sir.
ये तो आपने देखा ही होगा,
Okay, sir.
है ना? So we come back to the manufacturing process. So you make these holes and you deposit tungsten into it. You have these contacts made. Okay, then you deposit aluminium, then again you deposit oxide, so यहाँ तक oxide आ जाएगा, then you will make holes for VR1, you will deposit tungsten in them, and then you will deposit aluminium again. Okay, so this is how the manufacturing used to be done. Now once we move to the copper process, what we realized was that copper is clearly more ductile than aluminium. So even though there are these deep trenches that need to be made, copper will flow into these trenches. Copper will not have any problem in flowing into these trenches. So what was then decided was that, okay, excuse me, sorry. So what was then decided was that, okay, when we have to make, so if these wires have to be copper wires, इसी में देख लेते हैं, that if these wires have to be copper wires, then what we will do is, यहाँ तक तो contact tungsten रहने देते हैं, then we make metal 1, but when we make metal 2, instead of growing oxide only to this height, we will grow oxide to this height now. Okay, so instead of growing oxide to only this height, we will grow oxide to full height, and then we will etch out first for metal 2. Now wherever we have VR1s, we will etch out again, and we will make trenches for VR1s also. Once this part is done, that is when we will deposit copper. So what happens? Copper comes and copper flows into these vias. So आपको etching 2 बार करनी पड़ी, लेकिन जो आपका metal deposition वाला step था वो एक ही बार हुआ. So usually आप देख रहे थे पहले के केस में, you do etching and then you would do deposit. Then again you will do etching, then you will do deposit, and so on. यहाँ पे क्या हुआ? यहाँ पे आपने अब etching 2 बार कर दी, and then you did 1 deposit only. So this, because it required 2 etchings, and which also meant that there were 2 levels at which copper would get deposited, this is called as a dual damascene process. Is this clear? So we had discussed this in the office hours also. If some of you had seen the video there, you would have already seen this. But since I anyway had to cover it in more detail, I am covering it in the class also. So is this clear?
So just one more thing. So you said here we are doing etching twice. So once etching is done to remove the silicon dioxide layer, then etching is again done to just make the trenches, and then
again remove. So trenches are made in silicon dioxide. So वो भी silicon dioxide ही है.
तो सर फिर तो एचिंग एक ही बार हुआ ना, मतलब हमने ऐसा
नहीं एचिंग एक बार नहीं हुआ. आपने एक बार जब एच करा तो आपने खाली इतनी देर के लिए एच करा कि यहाँ तक की डेप्थ एच होगी. उसके बाद आपने दूसरा मास्क रखा, ठीक है, और दूसरे मास्क के अंदर आपने फिर एक्स्ट्रा डेप्थ तक एच करा, बट डिपॉजिट एक ही बार करा.
ओके सर, फिर ये ट्रेंचेस में हमने टंगस्टन फिल कर दिया एंड देन उसके ऊपर कॉपर, राइट?
नहीं, यहाँ पे टंगस्टन फिल करा, यहाँ पे तो कॉपर ही आएगा. यहाँ पे तो कॉपर, वही तो हम कह रहे हैं, डिपॉजिट एक ही बार करा मतलब कॉपर वायर में भी आया, कॉपर इस ट्रेंच में भी फ्लो इन कर गया.
ओके सर, ओके.
So in today's technologies, vias are also copper and wires are also copper. There is no tungsten in vias, but contacts continue to be tungsten. Why? Why could we not do dual damascene here also?
Maybe sir, heating issue or from the heat dissipation from the from the transistor.
Huh?
So like tungsten has higher how to say melting point, maybe something regarding that. Is it like that?
So maybe the contact resistance for tungsten is very low as compared to copper.
No,
so copper may react with silicon, and so it might diffuse into the silicon layer.
Copper may react with silicon. What do you mean by react with silicon?
Yeah, I mean not react per se, but I mean it might happen that the copper atoms might diffuse with the the N type or P type silicon what is inside the source and drain.
Okay. So what happens is, all of you know about the band diagrams? You know about the band diagram?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
There's a conduction band, valence band, and there is this EI, and then depending on the doping, you have EF, and EF could be N type or P type. That would define whether your material is N type or P type. So see, the semiconductors have this band gap, and this is what gives them the semiconducting properties. है ना? Because you know that unless you apply this kind of a voltage, the electron will not jump from the conduction, from the valence band to the conduction band and so on. है ना? So that is the reason why a semiconductor remains a semiconductor. So when copper gets diffused into silicon, what happens is it creates intermediate energy states in between this band gap. So copper, silver, and gold. Copper, gold, and silver, all three metals, though they are very ductile and they are very good in terms of conductivity, their resistance is very, very less. When they interact with silicon, when they kind of get diffused into silicon, because all three metals are very ductile also, they diffuse very fast, they result in having these interface or these extra energy states inside the band gap of silicon. So now the kind of energy, the barrier that you see is much lesser, whether from these energy states to the top band or from the bottom band to these energy states. So आपका semiconductor अब semiconductor रहता ही नहीं है. And that is where copper is never brought in contact with silicon. So यहाँ पे, therefore, the contacts are made out of tungsten. In fact, in a fab, if you go to a fab, you will see that there are, they define two zones. One is called FE zone and the other is called BE zone. So what does FE zone do? FE zone has the process steps that require, making of active, making of poly, making of contact. So up till contact. So all VT implants, everything happens in the FE zone. BE zone only deals with copper deposition. You do not, and there is a physical distance of more than 100 meters, much more than 100 meters in the two areas, FE zone and BE zone. So क्या होता है, आप एक पार्ट ऑफ फैब के अंदर अपना कॉन्टैक्ट तक का काम करते हो, एंड उसके बाद पूरे वेफर को उठा, मतलब पूरे वेफर के लॉट को उठा के फिजिकली दूसरे जोन में जाते हो और वहां पे आप मेटल लेयर्स डिपॉजिट करते हो. क्यों? क्योंकि आप नहीं चाहते कि गलती से भी कॉपर वेपर्स भी इस एरिया में आ जाएं, क्योंकि यहाँ पे सिलिकॉन के साथ वो इंटरैक्ट कर लेते हैं. यहाँ पे सिलिकॉन के ऊपर ऑक्साइड, मतलब इस एरिया में जब आप एक्टिव डिपॉजिट कर रहे हो तो सिलिकॉन के ऊपर ऑक्साइड नहीं है. अगर उसी दौरान वहां पे कॉपर भी चला गया, कॉपर के कुछ वेपर्स भी चले गए, तो आपका सिलिकॉन डाई बर्बाद हो गया, सिलिकॉन वेफर बर्बाद हो गया. So you keep copper at least 100 meters social distancing away from the place where you would do your active or where you would do your FE processes. So up till contact level you do in the FE zone of the fab, and beyond that you go into the back-end zone of the fab.
Sir, for tungsten, where will the extra energy level get added? Tungsten
would not add it in the band gap. Okay. It may add it may add it up here or down here, doesn't matter. Okay. It does not spoil the band gap. That is what is important to us.
So you are talking about deep levels, right?
Yes, these copper, gold, and silver, they put deep levels. So they are called deep levels because they are deep inside the band gap, which we never wanted. Okay, so that is the reason why tungsten is used for contacts and not copper. So dual damascene process is not used for contact making, because the material is different. You will not be flowing copper into the contact trenches. Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
So if we go back to the previous slide, आप जो वहाँ पे इसमें से आ रहे थे शुरू में process, तो वहाँ पे when we talk about the dual damascene process, we said that H करने का double deposit, 2 बार H करने का deposit किया एक ही बार में. So earlier what was that कि यहाँ पे जो M1 layer थी, उसको हम लोग पहले एल्यूमिनियम वाली जब लेयर आती थी, पहले उसको डिपॉजिट करके उसके ऊपर फिर विया कंस्ट्रक्ट करते थे, राइट?
हाँ, उसके ऊपर पहले विया बनाते थे, फिर उसके ऊपर एल्यूमिनियम अलग से डिपॉजिट करते थे. So there were 2 separate deposition steps.
So now like हम लोग H तो यहाँ पे like I was just maybe getting confused कि अगर हम लोग dual damascene पे देखें तो V1 तो like जो यहाँ पे V1 जो H करेंगे second time, that could only be done kind of a thing like after M1 gets deposited, right?
No.
So
Even before, if M1 is deposited and you want to, so suppose there is M1 already, and there is no VIA1 over here. There is metal 1. Oh, sorry, M1. Yes, VIA1 can be made only after M1 is deposited. Yes, but before M2 gets deposited.
So what deposition were we reducing? Which deposition process were we reducing over here?
मतलब
जो हम लोग डिपोजिशन का एक प्रोसेस स्टेप कम कर रहे थे डुअल डायमेंशन में, वो M2 का डिपोजिशन कम कर रहे थे. व्हाट वाज
हम VIA1 के लिए जो अलग से टंगस्टन को डिपॉजिट करने का स्टेप था, हमने उस टंगस्टन को डिपॉजिट करने के स्टेप को हटा दिया. हमने M2 के लिए जो कॉपर डिपॉजिट करते थे, उसी के दौरान VIA1 के अंदर मेटल फिल कर दिया.
So that M1 M2 वो connection kind of a thing developed.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
Sir, in this process, when we are etching 2 times, how do we control like till what depth we have to etch the first time? Is it a timing process or some other thing?
It is all timing control. So 1 millisecond extra and you would have etched into the metal 1 also. That's not really a problem because metal 1 is also copper, so copper नीचे तक flow कर जाएगा. Not really an issue, but yeah, you don't want that to happen.
Sir.
Yes.
सर हम जो VDD फॉर्म करते हैं वो हम M1 NW विया से उसमें यूज़ करते हैं. तो सर विया तो एक मेटल से दूसरे मेटल के बीच में होता है, तो सर हम वहाँ पर विया क्यों फॉर्म करते हैं VDD के लिए?
क्योंकि VDD आप कहाँ से ले रहे हो? मेटल 2 से ले रहे हो, मेटल 3 से ले रहे हो, कहाँ से आ रहा है VDD मेटल 1 तक?
सर जैसे सोर्स से हम लेते हैं तो सर वो भी तो मेटल लेयर ही होती है, पर वो M1 भी हो सकती है, M2 भी हो सकती है, M3 भी हो सकती है.
तो क्या आप कॉन्टैक्ट ये क्या कहते हैं सोर्स या ड्रेन से डायरेक्टली मेटल 3 में कोई वायर से कनेक्शन ले सकते हो आप? How will you go to the third floor without crossing the first and second floors?
Okay.
You'll have to climb the stairs to the first floor, then the second floor, then the third floor, no?
Okay, sir. And
At least that is the case until you use wireless technology inside the chips.
ओके सर. और सर उसमें फिर हम NVEL क्यों यूज़ करते हैं VDD के लिए, और मतलब ग्राउंड के लिए PTAP क्यों यूज़ करते हैं?
So आप टैपिंग की बात कर रहे हो, so that is a different thing altogether. Tapping is to give you the substrate connection. So यहाँ पे आपको substrate को भी तो bias करना है ना, ताकि जो body terminal है, so as we will come to the hopefully in this today's class or the next class, you will see the body terminal has a role to play in the way in defining the VT of the device. So you make N-taps and P-taps only to make the body connection.
Okay, sir.
Sir?
Okay. Yes.
So in this diagram, अगर हमारे पास M2 के बाद एक M3 होता, then we would have needed another VIA. So उस process of etching में भी sir we would have etched 4 times and then deposited once.
No. So you would have etched 2 times, deposited here, then etched 2 times and deposited here.
Okay, sir. We start from the bottom.
That is why it is called dual damascene, not multi-damascene.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sir.
Yes.
सर डुअल इस वाली प्रोसेस में मतलब अभी आपने बताया कि कॉपर हम डालते नहीं हैं क्योंकि वो मतलब एक्स्ट्रा एनर्जी लेवल्स बना देगा, बट मतलब डिपोजिशन में तो हम एक ही बार डिपॉजिट कर रहे हैं तो कॉपर ही दोनों लेयर में जाएगा ना, मतलब
it is not getting in contact with the but it is not coming in touch with silicon ना. Silicon is so down there.
अच्छा सर, लास्ट में आपने एक स्टेटमेंट बोला था कि डुअल डायमेंशन प्रोसेस इज नॉट मेड फॉर कॉन्टैक्ट मेकिंग, तो फिर इसका क्या मीनिंग हुआ?
सॉरी दोबारा से
आई
बोलो.
थिंक आपने बोला था कि डुअल डायमेंशन प्रोसेस इज नॉट यूज्ड फॉर कॉन्टैक्ट मेकिंग.
Yes, we
इसका
don't
क्या
use it for
मीनिंग हुआ?
contact. Contact को आप अलग से बनाओगे और फिर मेटल 1 डिपॉजिट करोगे.
अच्छा, ओके 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 सर, ठीक है, समझ गया.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, I understood what is dual damascene process, but if I expand Gopesh's question, sir, अगर मैं 4 लेयर बना के उसको मेटल फिल कर दूंगा तो प्रॉब्लम कुछ आएगा क्या?
तो प्रॉब्लम शायद यही आएगा कि देन यू हैव अ मेज, यू नो, थिंक ऑफ इट. आप इसको इस तरह से सोचो दैट आप ये मानो कि आपने केक बनाया है, ठीक है. सपोज आप केक बनाया है और आप केक के अंदर आप कोई चाशनी फिल करना चाहते हो जस्ट फॉर द फन पार्ट ऑफ इट. तो अभी तो क्या हुआ, आपने केक के ऊपर आपने अपना पैटर्न बनाया, अपना नाम लिखा, और जहाँ पे एक्स्ट्रा डीप में चाशनी भरनी थी वहां पे आपने छोटे छोटे होल्स भी कर दिए, ठीक है. अब जब आपने चाशनी डाली, वो भी जो पिंक वाला सिरप था, जो भी सिरप डाला, तो वो उन होल्स के अंदर जाके भी फिल हो गया, है ना. आप सोचो कि आपको इस तरह से अब जब आपने 2 ही लेवल्स भरे तो आपको बड़ा विजुअली भी आप सोच पा रहे हो कितनी आसानी से हो रहा होगा. अब इमेजिन करो कि आपने ये 4 लेवल्स के लिए करना चाहा, ठीक है. आप इमेजिन करो कि आपको इसको 4 लेवल्स के लिए करना है, तो देयर इज अ काइंड ऑफ अ मेज दैट विल गेट फॉर्म्ड अंडरनीथ योर टॉप मोस्ट ऑक्साइड, जिसके ऊपर आप कॉपर डिपॉजिट करने वाले हो, मोल्टन कॉपर डालने वाले हो. उस लेवल के नीचे काइंड ऑफ जैसे एंट्स का कॉलोनी होता है ना, वैसा एक कॉलोनी सा बना हुआ है, और आप चाह रहे हो कि कॉलोनी के अंदर हर लास्ट कोने तक भी कॉपर चला जाए. You may not be able to achieve that.
Okay, sir,
Because
accuracy नहीं आएगा.
it is not about accuracy, it is about functional failure. आपका कॉपर बनेगा ही नहीं. क्यों नहीं बनेगा, इसका भी एक एग्जांपल देखते हैं. सपोज करो कि आपका मेटल 4 है, ये मेटल 4 है, और यहाँ पे एक मेटल 3 जा रहा है, यहाँ पे दूसरा मेटल 3 जा रहा है. ये सारे के सारे मेटल 3 इस मेटल 4 से कनेक्टेड है. जस्ट इमेजिन करते हैं, ठीक है. बहुत सारे मेटल 3s हैं और सारे के सारे इस मेटल 4 से कनेक्टेड है. सब में यहाँ पे 2-2 आपने वियास छोड़ रखे हैं, सब कुछ आपने कर रखा है. तो और मेटल 3s के नीचे आपका यहाँ पे कहीं पे मेटल 2 भी जा रहा है, ठीक है. मेटल 2 जो ये वाला है वो इस वाले से कनेक्टेड है, जो ये वाला मेटल 2 है वो इस वाले से कनेक्टेड है, कोई और मेटल 2 जो है वो किसी और मेटल 3 से कनेक्टेड है, ठीक है. अब आपने ऊपर से कॉपर डाला, कॉपर ने सबसे पहले तो ये मेटल 4 भरा, ठीक है. फिर मेटल 4 भर के उसने एक एक करके, मतलब यहां से भरना शुरू करा, मेटल 3s भरने शुरू करे, है ना. दैट इज हाउ कॉपर विल फ्लो. सबसे पहले वो सबसे ऊपर वाले होल को भरेगा, उसके बाद नीचे जहां जहां छोटे छोटे ये होल्स थे उन होल्स से अंदर जाएगा और नीचे वाले मेटल 3 भरना शुरू करेगा. अब यहाँ पे मेटल 3 पूरा यहाँ तक गया. अब यहाँ पे जब यहाँ तक गया तो इसने देखा यहाँ पे एक और होल है. अब इसने इस मेटल 2 को भरना शुरू कर दिया. अब ये मेटल 3 पूरा भरा नहीं है, क्योंकि यहाँ पे एक एडिशनल फ्लो शुरू हो गया जो नीचे की तरफ है. यहाँ पे इस वाले ने एक एडिशनल फ्लो शुरू कर दिया. तो जैसे जैसे वो कॉपर दूर जाता जाएगा वो ठंडा भी होता जाएगा, तो उसकी डक्टिलिटी कम होती जाएगी. तो देयर इज अ वेरी हाई पॉसिबिलिटी कि यहाँ तक आपका कॉपर पहुंचा ही नहीं. So in this region there is no copper, and you wanted to connect a metal 1 from here. So metal 1 बना ही नहीं आपका, metal 1 से connection ही नहीं बना आपका.
Yes, sir. Got it. Thank you, sir.
Okay, so you do not want such mazes to be made. You want to keep it simple. You want to save costs, but not at the cost of functionality.
सर बेसिकली आप ये बोल रहे हैं कि वाया 1 वाया 2 जरूरी नहीं है कि मतलब एक दूसरे के ऊपर नीचे हो, राइट सर. इसलिए हम मल्टीपल डामासेन प्रोसेस को फॉलो नहीं कर सकते हैं.
या यहाँ पे भी तो देखो ना, हमने इस लेआउट में कहाँ बनाया था VIA1 और VIA2 एक दूसरे के ऊपर.
यस सर, राइट. ओके सर.
है ना, ठीक है.
Sir, one more thing.
Yes.
So actually हमने देखा कि जो मेटल 1 और मेटल 2 है उनकी एक डायरेक्शन में कनेक्शन है, लाइक परपेंडिकुलर डायरेक्शन में होता है. सो जो मेटल 1 और मेटल 2 है वो तो हम एक तरह से इंटरकनेक्ट हो गए. तो वो तो हम डिसाइड करते हैं. सो हम ये कैसे सर्टेन करते हैं कि वो मतलब आपस में डायरेक्शन उनकी परपेंडिकुलर हो?
क्योंकि हम डिजाइन ही ऐसा करते हैं. हम डिजाइनर है ना, हम डिजाइन करते हैं ऐसा कि वो आपस में परपेंडिकुलर हो. ठीक है, तो हमारी को डिसाइड करना ना. आप खुद ही कह रहे हो कि हम डिजाइनर हैं, तो हम ऐसा डिसाइड कर लेते हैं. ठीक है, so we come back to this presentation where we looked at the dual damascene process. Then another detail that you need to understand about copper is, as we discussed, copper is very ductile and it has this propensity of diffusing into adjacent materials. So what happens is copper starts to diffuse into the silicon dioxide layers also. So what you do is, to prevent copper from diffusing into the adjacent silicon dioxide layer, you make what is called as a barrier. So this barrier is made of titanium nitride and titanium. Okay. In advanced technologies, your barrier has to become still more stronger because your copper is, your dimensions are much smaller, and your copper can actually diffuse further. So instead of actually scaling the barrier thickness, as you scale from say 32 nanometer to 22 nanometer, we observed that the barrier thickness increased. So what is the consequence of this increase in barrier thickness? Can anyone tell me?
I have decreased my conductivity because now there is less conductive titanium and titanium nitride instead of copper.
Yes. So if you look at the area through which you could conduct in the previous technology versus the area that you can conduct through which now, it is significantly reduced. So the resistivity increases tremendously. Okay, so and when we will talk about delays, and you already know about it, that delays are RC, R into C. So one thing that you're doing is you're bringing wires closer because of scaling. Because of scaling, your wires will be closer now. The other thing is they will also be more resistive. So R and C both increase. So your delays go for a toss as you come to fine geometries. Okay. So there is a continuous materials research that is happening to identify better barrier materials so that you could make a thin barrier and have larger area available for copper to be filled there. Okay. So this is one aspect, one thing that again came with copper wires. So even though copper is more conductive, in finer geometries, so you could not even think of putting aluminium here. Aluminium would not go here. Okay, itna ductile hai nahi aluminium. So you anyway had to use copper. But in these fine geometries, even copper resistivity is increasing because of these barriers. The problem also is that, see, copper has a thermal coefficient of resistivity of, let us say, rho. The thermal coefficient of resistivity of titanium and titanium nitride is rho Ta, let us say. And rho Ta is much greater than rho. So with temperature, you will notice that the wire resistance increases much more in advanced technologies than it used to increase in older technologies. Okay, so this is another nuance that you need to be aware of when you talk about copper wires. Okay, so we had, yes.
So the blue region that you are representing, that is basically a trench, right, sir?
The blue region.
So the barrier and the copper.
That is a barrier. That is a barrier that you have made. So that is titanium material.
So this whole rectangular area represents a VR sort of thing,
No,
sir.
no, this represents a wire. As of now, I wanted to show a wire. See, this is contact. It's made of tungsten, and this is metal one. So we are not even talking about VR yet.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So we looked at the fabrication of a transistor. Remember this slide we had shown earlier also. That when you fabricated the transistor, I talked about that it is almost like an art. So what is an important thing to note over here is that this was, as I mentioned, 0.5 micron, 0.35 micron technology. Today we are at 7 nanometer. So we are, orders of magnitude finer technology today. So this was 350 nanometers, and today we are at 7 nanometers. So we are 2 orders of magnitude finer geometry today. Even then, at 350 nanometer or 500 nanometer thing, you notice that there was this mismatch that happened, misalignment that happened. So do you realize that such misalignments would happen even in advanced technologies? They will not be of the same order. यहाँ पे अगर मैं 350 nanometer का scope मानूं कि 350 nanometer था, तो this misalignment was of the order of, जितना देखने पे लग रहा है, let us say 50 to 70 nanometer का misalignment था यहाँ पे. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
So in that technology, even we did whatever we could do, we still had a misalignment of 70 nanometer. आज अगर आप 70 नैनोमीटर का मिसअलाइनमेंट रख दोगे तो आपकी तो वायर्स ही नहीं बनेगी, क्योंकि आपको तो 7 नैनोमीटर के अंदर वायर्स बनानी है. Not exactly, but yeah. So we already discussed that 7 nanometer technology may not have any physical feature which is 7 nanometer wide, है ना? So 7 nanometer है तो आपकी जो वायर्स हैं वो शायद 14 नैनोमीटर की हैं. But 14 nanometer भी is much lesser than the error that you had in this technology. Whatever you may do, however accurate your machines may be, one should realize that this 14 nanometer may have some misalignments of the order of at least plus minus 2-3 nanometers. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
सर
sir.
यहाँ
So
पे
what?
आप
Yes.
सर यहाँ पे आप जो वायर बोल रहे हैं that is metal only, right?
Yeah. Metal, but same thing would happen with poly ना. यहाँ पे मैं आपको मेटल के ऊपर कॉन्टैक्ट, सरफेस सोर्स ड्रेन रीजन के ऊपर मेटल के कॉन्टैक्ट्स की बात कर रहा हूँ, बट ये पॉली की भी तो यही खेल है. जो पॉली बना है उसके साथ भी यही होगा. इमेजिन करो कि आपने 1 मिलीसेकेंड एच करना था, आपने 1 मिलीसेकेंड की जगह 1.1 मिलीसेकेंड एच कर दिया, तो क्या होगा? आपका पॉली इतना बड़ा आप बनाना चाह रहे थे, आप इतना मोटा पॉली बनाना चाह रहे थे, इन रियलिटी वो पॉली अब उससे पतला बनेगा क्योंकि ज्यादा देर एच हो गया. आपने डिवाइस की लेंथ रखनी चाहिए थी 90 नैनोमीटर और आप 90 नैनोमीटर के साथ एक लीकेज एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे थे, लेकिन आपकी डिवाइस की लेंथ बन गई 80 नैनोमीटर. आपका लीकेज बढ़ गया, डिले कम हो गया. और अगर आपने यहाँ पे इस डिवाइस को डिले एलिमेंट की तरह लगाया था तो आपका सर्किट फेल भी कर सकता है बिकॉज आपका डिले कम हो गया. आर यू विद मी? हेलो.
Yes, sir.
So what we are saying is that
Hello?
whatever, yes, you had
Hello,
a question? Yes.
Sir, sir, can you please just go over and repeat कि like एच ज्यादा देर करने से छोटा वायर क्यों बना? लाइक आई वाज लाइक थिंकिंग कि बड़ा वायर नहीं बनेगा तो, क्योंकि लाइक आपने ज्यादा देर तक एचिंग करके रिमूव कर दिया उसको.
हमने पॉली है ना, पॉली को,
और लाइक
so we're talking about
और लाइक
poly.
एच करके आर भी रिमूव.
So
ओके ओके, अच्छा अच्छा, ठीक है.
yes, we're talking about poly here.
Yeah.
So poly, when you etch more, the poly width would reduce. If I was talking about depositing metals, then I etch a trench there, and then if I etch more, I will make a wider trench. Then
I thought it was a metal.
No, I talked about the poly.
Yeah.
ठीक है?
Yeah, sure, sir.
So what we are saying is that such variations and see 1 to 1.1 milliseconds, okay, may not happen, but 1 millisecond to 1.01 milliseconds, it can always happen. So what happens is that when you fabricate these polys on silicon, for example, you would have some polys which are 85 nanometer wide, some which are 91 nanometer, some which are 95 nanometer, and so on. So you have a range in which, so you wanted everything to be 95 nanometer or 90 nanometer. So majority of the polys are 90 nanometer, but there are polys which are at 80 nanometer also, and there are polys which are at 100 nanometers also. Are you with me? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what happens? आपने एक इन्वर्टर बनाया. So अभी, in the office hours or in the last class, someone was asking me, sir, we two of us use the same sizes of transistors and our results were different. How is it possible? I said, yes, abhi aapne manufacture to kara nahi hai. So, simulator kaise alag result de sakta hai? So we discussed about the simulator behavior, and we discussed that, okay, the way you've written the netlist, it can always happen that the simulator will give different results, but within some, bound, within some error bound, and that error bound would reduce as you increase the accuracy of the register, of the simulator. But now we're talking about real silicon. And what we are realizing is that on real silicon, so even if you make the two devices to be same sized, they will actually behave differently because there is a distribution. This distribution is known as variability. Look at it like this. The gate oxide thickness today is less than 12 angstroms, actually. So, which means it was only 2 to 3 molecules of SiO2 in 65 nanometer technology. एक additional molecule आप वहां put कर दो, या एक molecule हटा दो. Instead of 3 molecules, you put 2 molecules. 2 molecules only. You have changed the gate oxide thickness by 33%. You add one more molecule, you have increased the gate oxide thickness by additional 33%. Do you realize that? So, आपका जितना भी सारा calculations था VT का, they were dependent on 1 by Tox. अब आपका Tox of 33% change हो सकता है. So as Tox changes, your VT will change. As your VT changes, your delays will change. This was the etching thing that you were talking about for the gate. Let us say that extra few milliseconds of etching results in 5 nanometer reduction. In 65 nanometer, that means that you increase speed by 8% and you have increased leakage by 30%. If the same 5 nanometer error appears in 22 nanometer technology node, imagine what would happen. You have reduced the gate length by 25%. Speed may not increase as much because of the short channel effects and velocity saturation and so on, but the leakage would simply blow up the roof. So variability is something that we have to live with, design with, and be extremely careful of. I'm talking about it here just to introduce that variability is something that we need as VLSI designers to be really sensitive about. As library designers, when you will go ahead and design libraries, you will notice that at low voltages when you will operate, variability will kind of require you to add more design margins, more timing margins in your circuits. Okay, and this is becoming more and more evident in advanced technology nodes. So while in earlier technologies, and as I discussed earlier, we talked about static timing analysis. याद है जब हम पूरा design flow की बात कर रहे थे, तो we talked about STA, which is called static timing analysis. Today we already do SSTA. The additional S stands for statistical. So we give a range of values of delay, which is statistically vetted by running what we call as Monte Carlo simulation. Okay, so we want to see what kind of variations can appear in the characterization, in the delays and so on. And that is where we want to qualify those also when we do timing sign off. Okay, so library design, library characterization, and library verification and validation all has become much more complex as we are moving from older technologies to new technologies. Okay, so another aspect that we need
I
to
have a question.
understand. Yes.
So you said that while etching, the length of the poly would reduce, but
Yes.
while etching metals, it will increase.
Yes.
Why is it so?
You tell me.
So etching is the process in which we remove the silicon oxide layer so that we can make
No,
space for something
no.
else.
Who said we always remove only silicon oxide?
Okay.
I never said that. Etching is a process through which we do patterned removal of whatever is there on silicon.
Yes, sir.
When you etch poly, you are actually removing the poly.
Yes, sir.
Whereas when you make trenches for metals, you etch the silicon dioxide.
Okay.
So when you are etching poly and you etched for a little longer, you actually reduce the gate length. However, when you were etching for metals, you remove the silicon dioxide, so copper had more area to fill, so your wire becomes thicker.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so while etching the poly, basically we're removing the poly.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, sir.
So this, again, if you go back and revise the earlier lecture that we discussed, you will see that in that we discussed about removing the poly.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So when we were talking about the fab and we were saying that we do not want impurities like copper to enter into the Fe zone, and we do not want other impurities or anything, any defects to appear in हमने इतने बड़े, remember we talked about a big wafer. We talked about a big wafer and we said there would be some particles that can come. So, when we are talking about big wafers and we're talking about very, very fine feature sizes on those big wafers, we need to have an environment which is extremely, extremely clean. Because जो आपका ambient environment है, उसमें तो dust particles ही इतने हैं कि आप उसमें silicon manufacturing अगर करना चाहोगे, तो वो dust particles आपकी एक भी die को functional नहीं रहने देंगे. So what you do is you create special areas, special zones called as clean rooms. When you enter into a clean room, you wear that kind of a kit, that kind of clothing as you see doctors wearing in the PPE, the protective kits that doctors are wearing these days in the COVID-19 scenario. So people who work in the fabs, they wear those kind of kits day in and day out. Why? Because the clothes that they were wearing from outside, they came to the fab from their homes, so they came from the outside environment. They do not want any dust particles from their clothes to even come inside the room. Okay, so before you enter a clean room, you wear a PPE kit, entire PPE kit. You put masks, everything. Okay, so that you do not even breathe out dust particles into the environment inside that clean room. Okay, then when you enter the clean room, there is an air curtain. How many of you know air curtains?
Yes, I know.
So what is an air curtain?
So which blows air on that gown to remove the dust particles.
Yeah, not just dust particles. If you've gone to malls,
yeah, sir. Yeah, in the entrance there will be the slit of the air. It will be flowing kind of like.
Yeah. So this air curtain flows vertically. What it does is it has a very strong flow of vertical air, so that the air conditioning of the inside the mall does not go outside. Okay, so that air is air, but it is a barrier in itself. So you have this kind of a flow of air in the air curtain, and there is a circular, or there is a there is आपका air conditioner का vent ऐसा है. So air यहाँ आती है, इस air curtain के साथ वो ऐसे घूम के वापस room के अंदर चली जाती है. Similarly बाहर से अगर हवा है तो बाहर से हवा यहाँ पे आई भी तो इस हवा से मिक्स होके इसकी velocity के साथ वो घूम के बाहर रह जाती है. So air curtain is kind of a transparent curtain which prevents mixing of airs from inside and outside. So when you, after wearing that PPE kit, when you enter the clean room, there is a very strong air curtain, so that the air from outside does not even enter into the clean room, even when a person is entering. Okay. Another purpose is, so the floors, so that is the air curtain. Then in the entire clean room, the roof is perforated and the floor is also perforated. And there is a continuous flow of air from the roof to the floor. So they are kind of pressurized rooms. Clean rooms are kind of pressurized rooms, slightly higher pressure. So, and the idea being that now, even though I'm wearing a PPE, I'm doing everything, I could still be carrying some dust particles. If there is any dust particle, do not let it float in the air. Let it go to the floor, and from the floor, get it sucked into these perforations. Okay. The extra pressurized air in the room also helps the air curtain, in the sense that even if there is a wind blowing from outside, the pressurized air will have a natural outflow. So air can only go out from your clean room and will not be able to enter in. So it creates an additional barrier. So all such kind of protection is done so that your clean room does not get any particles inside it. In fact, clean rooms are referred to as a class of clean rooms based on the number of ambient particles in the air per meter cube. So a class 10 clean room would have only 83 1 micron particles of larger than 1 micron size in per cubic meter. Only 83 particles of more than 0.1 micron size. And यही अगर आप ambient air में देखो, तो the number of particles that you have is 830,000, so 10,000 times more. In fact, ambient air में ऐसे भी ज़्यादा होता है, but a class 10,000, a class 100,000 clean room, so it is still a clean room. It still has some of these features in there. Okay, so all this is done so that the number of particles that can accidentally get deposited onto your wafers is less. So if you would not use a very good clean room, you will have many more particles on your wafer. By using a clean room, you reduce the particles that deposit on your wafer, and therefore you improve the yield of your process. Okay. Additionally, you also use UV light. You also use yellow light, because most of the what do we say, photoresist material is sensitive to UV light. That is how it is made. Because if it is sensitive to visual light, then photoresist काम ही नहीं करेगा ना, फिर तो visual light तो हर तरफ ambient में घूम रही है. तो क्योंकि आपका जो photoresist होता है वो UV light के लिए sensitive है, तो आप consciously कोशिश करते हो कि आप have you ever seen a shop where the earlier photographic films used to be processed and photographs were made? Has anyone of you seen those shops?
So basically dark rooms you have for the...
Yeah, the dark rooms that they had. So the dark rooms they had so that the photo film, you know, the Kodak film that you had would not get exposed to light and the quality of the photo is good. And in those rooms, they used to have a very small 0-watt light, red color bulb somewhere. You remember that? Have you seen anything like that? Anyone seen that? Huh? So it is in the same way. We know that this photoresist is sensitive to UV light. So we choose a yellow colored light because, red light would not really appeal to the eyes as much. Red light is more like danger. And you want dangers, red lights are always there in any workspace. So red lights you want to maintain. So you use yellow light instead of white light so that you remove all components of blue so that they don't even come close to what you call as ultraviolet. Okay, all components of blue onwards are removed, green onwards are removed. Okay? So that you do not, even by chance, expose your photoresist unnecessarily. Okay, so, and this we already talked about, the fact that FE zones and BE zones are different in in clean rooms. There are separate clean rooms for Fe zones and copper zones. Okay. So once your wafer is manufactured, yes, there is a question.
Sir, can you explain again the purpose of yellow light, sir?
So the purpose of yellow light is that even by chance you do not have your photoresist get reacted with some stray blue light that may be there. Okay. So you use a wavelength of light which will not react with your photoresist at all. That's it.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So once the wafer is manufactured, then as we already discussed, we go to the step called as testing. So for testing, you have what you call as ATEs, that is automated, whatever, test equipment. So what does ATE do? ATE actually goes to each and every die. It has, a set of probe pads, probe pins, which would connect to the IO pads of the die, and it gives all the test vectors, test inputs that you wanted to put on them, so that you could test that the die is functional or not. So you would do the die sorting in this process. Okay, so this automated test equipment is actually very costly. Why is it costly? First, it needs to have, so for example, in today's chips, you would have hundreds of pins. All those hundreds of pins within, let us say, 5 millimeter square. So you need to have very, very thin wires. So your ATE has to have very, very thin wires, hundreds of them, that could connect to these pins. Okay. And not only will they connect to these pins, they should be able to give and receive inputs at the speeds of, for example, tens of megahertz. There would be inductive effects also, there would be capacitance of these pins also, and so on. See, as you make a wire thinner and thinner, do you realize that the inductive effects increase? This is basic physics that you must have done in your schooling also, that thin wires, a very thin wire has more and more inductive effects. So as you make these, so that, because of such complexity in making the ATE cost is very high. And how is that cost distributed? A large part of that cost is simply depreciation. So आपकी मशीन बस पड़ी हुई है, वो काम कर रही है, सब कुछ ठीक काम कर रही है, मेंटेनेंस का भी आप कुछ नहीं कर रहे, कुछ भी और नहीं चला रहे आप, लेकिन बस वो पड़ी हुई मशीन जो खाली टेस्ट कर रही है, that is the major cost. Okay, and this cost is a recurring cost. आपकी हर डाई पे आपको ये कॉस्ट पे करनी है. Am I right? So in reality, ATE can account for up to 25% of total chip cost, primarily because of the high cost of test equipment. And if, for example, your chip has many more inputs and is not very testable, then you will spend more time also, because you will have more number of patterns to test this die. So in today's designs, there is a concept known as design for testability. ये जो हमने first lecture में जो flow की बात करी थी, so हमने DFT की बात भी करी थी, test insertion की बात भी करी थी. So test insertion involves inserting scan chains, BIST, built-in self-characterizers, and so on, so that आपको इस ATE के through बहुत सारी testing ना करनी पड़े. और ATE के थ्रू जो भी आपको टेस्टिंग करनी पड़ रही है, that testing you can only do at say 10 megahertz or 100 megahertz, 10 to 100 megahertz. Okay, लेकिन जो ही आप ऑन चिप होते हो, you can actually operate at gigahertz speeds. So अगर आपको 1 million पैटर्न्स देने हैं, हाँ, और आप 10 megahertz पे हो, तो आपको 0.1 सेकेंड लगेगा, है ना? लेकिन अगर आप गीगाहर्ट्ज की स्पीड पे हो, तो तो आप शायद 1 मिलीसेकंड में वो 1 मिलियन पैटर्न्स दे दोगे. So when you test at a higher speed, you are on the tester for a shorter duration of time, and therefore the cost of the tester that would accrue on your die would reduce. So even though for testability you may increase the area by say 2%, though that is 2% is a very high figure, itna nahi add hota hai area. But even if you increase the area by 2%, you could actually be reducing the cost from 25% of this to say 10%. Because you are now testing at a much higher speed, and since you are testing at a much higher speed, you now do not take tester cost with you. Okay, so testing is therefore a very important part of VLSI design flow. Then we come to packaging.
Sir, what
Yes.
was the depreciation?
So depreciation नहीं पता आपको? So any machine that you have, even the car that you purchase, so the moment you take it out from a showroom, if you go and want to sell it into the market, what happens? So you bought a car, Baleno, for let us say 9 lakh rupees. The next week you say, oh, I don't like a Baleno, I would rather have an Innova Krista. Baleno doesn't suit my standard. So you go to the market and say, I have this new Baleno, which is only run 100 kilometers because I don't like to drive Baleno. I want to sell it. Of that 9 lakh, how many lakhs will you get back?
3 lakhs.
Oh, within a week you will lose 6 lakhs in value.
3 years, I'm saying.
So maybe from 9 to 7 lakhs.
The value of your asset in the open market would reduce, and that is a cost, is it not? For example, why do you think Uber and other services are gaining so much traction? Uber is still costly. So if you take your own car and go from point A to point B, the cost of petrol is still lesser than what you will pay for Uber, is it not? Most of the times the cost of petrol will be lesser. The operational cost will be lesser when you take your own car. Have you noticed this? Have you used Uber? Any one of you ever?
Yes,
sir. Yes, sir.
All of them.
Yeah. So if you just do some back of the envelope calculations, you will notice that the Uber cost is higher than if you would take your own car or your own vehicle, on your own bike, something. Okay. Then why is Uber so successful? Because you do not pay the depreciation cost of the car. First, you did not need to make a capital investment in purchasing the car. चलो वो capital investment किसी और ने करा. Okay. But more importantly, जो भी capital investment करा, when you go out and sell the car after some time, after 1 year also, you lose 3-4 lakh rupees in the value of the car. So what happened? आपने तो 1000 किलोमीटर चलाया उस एक साल में कार को. You suppose you drove the car for even 10,000 kilometers. So you are very happy that my car's average is so much, and therefore per kilometer I am spending only 5 rupees. Uber is charging me 7 rupees. So you are very happy. 1 year down the line, you sold the car. You sold the car for let us say 1 lakh rupee lesser than the previous cost. So in that 1 lakh rupees, you actually drove 10,000 kilometers. So per kilometer, the car cost you 10 rupees. So the petrol cost you 5 rupees, the car cost you 10 rupees. Plus you had insurance, plus you had whatever else. So the actual cost of driving per kilometer is actually 15 rupees or more. Whereas Uber is charging you 7 rupees or 10 rupees. Though in a short term, at the operational level, you felt that the cost is less, but in reality, because the depreciation of the car is also happening, the cost is higher. Are you with me? Are you able to see this point?
Yes, sir.
So that is what is depreciation, and that is how depreciation cost is loaded onto the dies also. जैसे अभी हमने 1 lakh rupee cost of the car, we loaded it onto per kilometer that you drove. You drove 10,000 kilometers, so we said 1 lakh rupee was lost in 10,000 kilometers. So the for per kilometer you lost 10 rupees in the car cost. So your actual cost per kilometer is 15 kilometers per hour, 15 rupees per kilometer.
सर
Yes.
सर आपने 2% वाला जो एरिया का कंसेप्ट बताया था कि जैसे मान लीजिए जो हमारा 80 ही है वो कुछ पर्टिकुलर पिंस उसमें होंगी जो चेक करेगी हमारे जो भी हम चिप बनाना चाह रहे हैं। तो अगर हमारा एरिया हल्का सा बढ़ जाता है तो हमारी फ्रीक्वेंसी जो 80 की फ्रीक्वेंसी है चेक करने की वो फास्ट चेक करेगा। तो आप ये कह रहे थे कि हम एरिया थोड़ा सा बढ़ा दें ताकि हमारा 80 जल्दी उसको चेक कर पाए।
नहीं, हम एरिया बढ़ा दें ताकि हम चिप के अंदर ही सेल्फ टेस्टेबिलिटी के फीचर्स डाल दें ताकि 80 को टेस्ट करने की जरूरत ही ना हो। हम चिप के अंदर ही खुद टेस्ट करके बता रहे हैं कि मेरा ये चीज ठीक काम कर रहा है कि नहीं कर रहा है।
अच्छा, ओके।
तो 80 को अब काम ही नहीं करना वो। सो आप अगर आप अपना कार ऑन करते हो, अगर आप एक नई कार में जाओ, एडवांस कार्स में जाओ, आप उसको ऑन करते हो, और इनफैक्ट अगर आप इलेक्ट्रिक कार में ही जाओ डायरेक्टली, टेस्ला के आप इलेक्ट्रिक कार के अंदर घुसो, तो आप कार के अंदर घुसोगे, उसको ऑन करोगे, तो इवन बिफोर स्टार्टिंग द कार इट विल गिव यू ऑल ओके। व्हाट डज दैट ऑल ओके मीन? उस टेस्ला की कार ने अपने सारे मदरबोर्ड्स को सिग्नल्स दिए, सब कुछ चेक करा और देख लिया कि सारे माइक्रो कंट्रोलर, सारे कंपोनेंट्स ठीक काम कर रहे हैं। अदरवाइज कार का ऑल ओके चेक करने के लिए आपको एक मैकेनिक के पास जाना पड़ता ना। अब आपकी कार खुद टेस्ट कर रही है।
Yes, sir.
So that is where we want our chips to test themselves. So this is called as built-in self-test. We want the chips to characterize themselves. What is the frequency at which they can operate? Is it higher than the required frequency or not? So that is called built-in self-characterization. So you put all these circuits in your die. Because you're putting these extra circuits, you take some extra area. But by putting this extra area, you're reducing the burden on the tester. Now you don't need to test from the tester. You can test from within yourself. And therefore, the test time reduces.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Divisha?
Sir, while discussing about this entire flow in the initial lectures, so there were 2 steps for testing. Like first was the wafer prototype testing and second was this detailed testing. So this AT testing and all these scan chains, and since BIST is already there in the chips for like doing the built-in self-test. So is this the part of the detailed testing, or like wafer prototyping testing is different from this testing?
Yeah, the wafer prototype test is only 7 locations, as we had in the quiz also.
Yes.
Wafer prototype test is only 7 locations to either keep or discard the wafer. Okay.
Okay, sir.
This is testing of your dies.
Yes.
Each and every die.
So this
and you are reducing the cost of that by including design for test in your designs.
Okay, so I think this will be the part of the detailed testing as we are finally
die sorting. This is a part of die sorting.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sir, I have one question.
Yes.
Sir, here in this automated testing, so basically that probe has some was checking the input output pads on the dies, and then here in the DFT also we are doing some different things like हमने कुछ इनपुट दिया, उसके करस्पॉन्डिंग हमें आउटपुट मिला या नहीं मिला, राइट सर? सो बेसिकली बाय डीएफटी वी आर अवॉइडिंग ऑटोमेटेड टेस्टिंग, और मतलब हमें इनपुट आउटपुट पिंस के रेजिस्टेंस, कंडक्टेंस, इंडक्टेंस को तो चेक करना ही होगा ना सर?
हाँ, तो वो करेंगे, but we will reduce the number of patterns from the input output pins because most of the patterns you are generating internal to the chip now.
Okay.
See, input output pins can operate only at 10 megahertz or 100 megahertz. Internal to the chip, you can operate in the gigahertz range. So you're now able to give all those patterns much faster. Instead of 100 milliseconds, you can now do it at 1 millisecond. Your test time reduces by 2 orders of magnitude. And that is a very big achievement. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So, yeah. So then once you have tested your wafers, done the die sorting, etc., you come to packaging. Now, package size is very critical because आपका पैकेज जितना बड़ा होगा, आपका जो भी आपने पीसीबी बनाना है वो भी उतना बड़ा करना पड़ेगा, है ना? So पैकेज के अंदर भी then you have to have ensure that the number of pins is also within the range that you can solder on your die and so on. So you today use ball grid arrays so that in the same die you can have many more pins. You and use the entire surface area of the die and not just the perimeter. See, पहले जब आपकी bonded wire bonding होती थी, तो you could put pins only on the perimeter. Today you have ball grid arrays, so that beneath the chip you have pins, and you can add many more pins in this manner. Okay, so packaging has become more complex. Packaging has become costlier. In fact, a very significant component of packaging cost is the cooling cost. See, in older technologies, the power density, that is watts per millimeter square, was less. But in advanced technologies, it has gone beyond what your typical air can cool. You know, at air, in ambient air, you can cool only this much power density. Otherwise, your chip will start to heat up and it will blow up. So in advanced technology nodes, you will see that even your mobile phones today, you know, आप Qualcomm का जो latest application processor देखोगे, it says liquid cooling technology. Just go to the specifications of the latest application processor. कहाँ पे मिलेंगे आपको processor के applications? You go to the marketing material of these phones, advanced phones, and you will see that the Qualcomm latest processor has liquid cooling technology in it. Why? Because air can no longer cool it. Air is insufficient to cool the die. So you have liquid cooling technology already in there. Okay. So as your chip density, the power density increases. As the power density increases, the cost of your package increases. So low power is not just for the environment. Low power is also a very, very significant part of overall system cost. So you want to make low power designs not just to increase the battery life, but also to reduce the cost of your die, cost of your chip. Okay. So अभी तक आपने जहां भी सुना होगा वहां पे आपने खाली लो पावर का इंडिकेशन सुना होगा कि बैटरी लाइफ बढ़ानी है, but in reality low power has a very, very strong bearing on the total cost of your chip because you will require lesser cooling. That is where, as we will go ahead in the course, you will see that there are so many schemes and techniques people will apply for reducing overall power consumption. Okay. Yeah, so we'll stop here. We will start with MOS capacitances in the next class. Okay. Any questions?
Sir, the patterns which are stored in BIST, where will it be? Is it some memory location which is created inside the chip itself? Or do we use the AT to give some patterns and that will be manipulated by the,
Yes.
you know?
So you give
BIST?
some, yeah, so you give some basic patterns from the AT. They trigger a range of patterns to be generated on the BIST. BIST would have simple combinational logics and loops to be able to generate the patterns that you want.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
हेलो
Anything
सर.
else? Yes, Ritik.
हेलो सर. सर आपने अभी वो बताया था लिक्विड कूलिंग के बारे में, तो उसमें कौन सा लिक्विड यूज होता है?
पता नहीं. I'm sorry, I did not find this information online. I would say you check once, and if you are able to find out, then please do share with me and the class.
Okay.
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 Sir, actually, I also had the same doubt कि liquid कौन सा use होता है, but I have seen the liquids are cooling pad जो होता है, as soon as it is torn apart, the liquid that is present inside it quickly evaporates, like within a fraction of seconds.
Yeah, so Setu is saying that it is distilled water. I don't know. I have no clue. If it is distilled water, so you can verify that and just confirm to me, and then I can answer the questions when someone else asks me.
So it's like, so you put a cooling plate on your processor, and then there's a liquid loop. So the distilled water keeps looping through it, and then there is a big radiator which just I mean, it cools down the water. So that's like it's a loop which continuously flows water over the.
Yeah. Actually, Setu, होता क्या है कि होगा क्या कि the hotspots will automatically heat the water, and that water will start to flow. You don't even need any pump anywhere. Your water will naturally start to flow as soon as your chip starts to heat up. But yes, you will need to make those channels through which water would flow. Yeah.
Yes.
So desktop systems, Setu says, uses distilled water. So you can check with Qualcomm as to what it must be available somewhere on Qualcomm website or somewhere in the patents for Qualcomm as to what material they use for liquid cooling. Okay. Anything else?
Sir, project ये assignment related doubt पूछ सकते हैं?
Yeah, उससे पहले let me just make an announcement. We will have a quiz on Tuesday. So just like always, we have a quiz on Tuesday.
But it's not so. As far as I'm aware, it's not the one who manufactures the processor does this. It's like you have the separate companies.
Yeah, so it may be, so TSMC would also do the packaging, or someone else may do the packaging. Whoever does the packaging will have this liquid cooling implemented there.
No, sir.
Setu, तुम्हारी आवाज कट रही है.
Actually, so I mean, like, I'm a bit aware about the desktop thing. So if you want to know, yeah, okay. Actually, I'm on mobile data and my internet is not working. Is this better?
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, this is better.
Hello.
Yeah, this is better.
Yeah, so what I was saying is that in desktop systems at least, so you would have certain companies like Noctua or something which are completely dedicated towards providing cooling fans and liquid cooling setup. So what they do is, so if you will make your own desktop, you will screw on your CPU fan and all that stuff. So instead of putting a CPU fan over there, you put the liquid cooling system. So essentially, instead of the fan, there would be a pump with like a metal copper plate between it, below it. So the heat is transferred to the copper plate, and the pump makes the water flow over the copper plate, and then there would be a very big radiator connected like a little bit away, and then the water would go through the radiator, and the radiator cools it down, and then it keeps on cycling.
Okay, yeah, that would make sense for the desktop system, but for the mobiles, I think they do it in the packaging itself, Setu. We can check. I do not know.
Actually, in the mobile also they use heat pipes. So what they have this copper pipes in which there is some, I don't know what liquid there is, but what happens is that whenever the liquid is heated up, obviously, as you said, like liquid will automatically rise towards the cooler end, and it will then cool down and come back. But as far as I'm aware, that's not done by the processor guys. They are usually done by like separate companies which which are which specialize in this field.
Yeah, so I will give you an example. The Apple has this face recognition system, is it not? So Apple.
Sorry, sir, I couldn't hear you.
So Apple's most recent phones have this face recognition system. Or Apple, most of the phones today have these advanced phones have this face recognition system. What does this face recognition system have? It has a light blaster, infrared light blaster. You have a image sensor, you have so many stuff, but all of that, so multiple manufacturers may be making all these different stuff, but all of them is packaged together by one company.
Yeah.
So it is a part of packaging. So who does that packaging is different, but what you're talking about is that it is Qualcomm who will pay to this packaging company for doing this packaging and then ship to the to a vendor like Huawei or LG or something. That is what I mean to say. That Xiaomi will not pay for this. Xiaomi will pay for this, yes, it will, but it is Qualcomm that will do this liquid packaging thing.
So, sir, I wanted to ask one thing. So, when we say that the Qualcomm says it's liquid cool or something, I thought that Qualcomm would just provide a chip to MI or something.
That used to be the case, I would say, 10 years back. Today, no company only provides chips. Companies provide solutions. And this is a solution.
Oh, okay.
Because MI doesn't know what the power budget of the Qualcomm chip is, how to do it. You know, so many things. Xiaomi wants to focus on user experience in terms of making mobile phones. It doesn't want to bother with application processor heating and cooling. So it is best that Qualcomm does it.
Yeah.
So Qualcomm does it for them. So people provide solutions today. They don't just provide chips.
Okay, thank you.
All the best.
हेलो सर.
Yes.
सर आपने पिछले लेक्चर की स्लाइड्स अपलोड नहीं करी हुई हैं.
पिछले लेक्चर में स्लाइड्स थी कहाँ? वीडियो तो था खाली. पिछले लेक्चर में तो हम खाली इन्वर्टर को देख रहे थे ना.
Okay, so like from the quiz point of view, I thought.
We did not cover even a single slide last time. But what we discussed, that can come.
Yeah, okay.
What we discussed, that can come. Yeah. Yes.
Small request, like a personal request. Instead of Tuesday, next Friday हो सकती है quiz, like if you agree to it. Like maybe if you could think and maybe अगर आप.
Okay, we can see. Some issue on a Tuesday.
So the thing is that I don't know about others. Like me personally, I have 4 or 5 deadlines. So I was just like, maybe अगर आप Friday कर लो तो maybe.
So let's see. I would usually prefer to keep it on Tuesday so that सबको पता है कि Tuesday वो quiz है. You know, it makes it simple for everyone to remember like that. Otherwise, jog करने में people may have issues. Let me check with the TAs and then we can see. Okay?
Okay, sir. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So all the best. Bye then.
Hello.
Yes, Priya, you had a question?
Yes, sir. Sir, related to assignment.
Yes.
Sir.
So let me just stop the recording. Let me just stop the recording now.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah.